When I think back to my early career and I moved over to London and was working in the Square Mile, there was an amazing person who was my boss's boss at the time. She was a real larger-than-life character, a director in the organisation. And I think that I learned so many lessons from her about facilitative working, which I didn't fully appreciate at the time, but now when I reflect back on them, I really see the value of them. So for example, she really never limited people by what their CV said about what they had done or might be capable of. She looked for potential in people and she created a space for that to evolve and develop. And she placed a lot of focus on building really strong teams. So in a context where hierarchy was incredibly important and built into the organizational structure, she essentially ignored it, and she made space for multiple voices to be brought to bear on whatever business issue was being tackled. If I go back even further than that, from a professional point of view, when I was a student, I studied social and cultural anthropology, and there was a particular cultural anthropologist called Margaret Mead who was and has remained incredibly influential. So she is probably most famous for saying that one should never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. In terms of the more personal influences in my life, I think it may be an obvious one, but I think I really need to call out my mother. She really is quite a phenomenal woman, and she raised my 3 siblings and I entirely on her own. She always encouraged our curiosity and in fact insisted that we question everything, which, given the context of our upbringing in an apartheid era South Africa, was quite phenomenal. She taught us a very valuable lesson about not being constrained by our circumstances, something that I continue to think about as I live my life. If I think about big personalities that I would love to be able to spend some time with, there are many that one could choose from, but I think for me, hands down, it would have been Nelson Mandela. Unfortunately, he is no longer around for me to have the opportunity to do that with, but I think he was such a remarkable man and obviously has a close personal connection to my own history. He was just such an intelligent and compassionate facilitator of a nation, which is no small thing. And he demonstrated to me, I think, always this phenomenal combination of a good head and a strong heart coming together to achieve things that really were quite unthinkable.